We are joined now by comedian, entertainer, and queer icon who is bringing back candid conversations about sexuality, gender, and other cultural issues that both divide and connect us in season 2 of our HBO series Pause with Sam J. Take a listen.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Samaria Johnson.
I didn't really come out. Like, when I hear young people talking about, I gathered everybody in the living room. Excuse me, I have something to say.
That's different now. Sam J joins us in studio here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your schedule to be here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I had a lot of questions I want to ask you. First, season 2.
Yes.
How is season 2 different than season 1?
It's just more personal. You know what I mean? I think season 1, I was kind of looking out at the world and going like, what's going on here? And in this season, I'm kind of looking inward and going like, what's going on here? So there's a lot more personal episodes and things that I'm just more closely connected to.
Yeah. I was just telling you before we came on that I think that's the kind of the genius of what you do. You mix humor with all of that, which is, I would imagine, tough at times to mix humor in some of the conversations that you're having.
I don't know. I just find the darkest things funny, usually, so it's not too tough, you know what I mean? It probably should be harder. That's probably something I should talk to my therapist about. But I just find funniness in the dark stuff.
Well, it seems to come easy to you. I want to get this straight, no pun intended. Pause is a slang term when something can be interpreted as gay. I would imagine some in the queer community could interpret pause as something offensive.
Yes.
So tell me why you put it in the name of the show and what it means to you.
Well, honestly, when we thought about what the show is asking, we were saying like it is kind of telling people like to take a pause. You know, consider another perspective you may not have heard. Consider another experience you may not have had. So that was part of it, was just like, we feel like that's what the show kind of makes you do when you watch it, is kind of take a pause and go, I haven't really thought about it like that. Or at least that's the hope, is that we're doing that. And the other thing is that I'm a comic and I just find being a jerk funny. And because I know it's used sometimes in the straight community as a homophobic thing, I was like, it would be funny to be a gay woman with a show called Pause. And
so you are. You talk about the complicated experience of blending queerness and blackness in the first episode. And you go on to say, I was black before I was gay. How important is this to your journey?
I mean, I think it's very important, especially when you are a multitude of things. I'm a lesbian, so, you know, I'm queer, I'm a woman, I'm black. And so these are all things that potentially can work against me and do work against me in society. And so it's like, well, then what thing do you have to assign yourself to? And I think sometimes people feel like, oh, well, you should prioritize your gayness because of what's happening right now. But it's like, that's not how my brain actually works, because since I was young and could comprehend, I understood that this was gonna be a reason why someone treated me differently, or this was gonna be a reason why I didn't get something that someone who didn't have this got. And so that's the first and forefront of my mind, because it's the longest experience I've had with, you know, discrimination.
And you talk about the show not being for everybody. You're okay with that. Do you try to make the show for everybody, or you just make the show and who takes to it, takes to it?
I mean, it's a little bit of both, I think, you know? Like, I make the show that I want to make, you know, and that I believe in and that I can stand on. And if you're into that, awesome. If you're not, that's also okay. But I also think by tackling the topics the way we do and the nuance that we take, it does leave room for everybody to get something out of it. You don't have to be gay to get something out of it. You don't have to be black to get something out of it. You don't have to be a woman to get something out of it. I think it does leave that space as well.
I'm none of those 3 things, and I love your show.
Oh, thank you.
So I think it actually is for everybody. Anybody who wants to laugh and think about these issues, talk about these issues. A lot of the things that you get into could be uncomfortable for some people. If they're not for your friends and they're not for you, but maybe someone watching the show. But then you inject your humor into it. Obviously, you're funny and you're into issues like this. When did you blend the two? When did you think, let me just do this?
I mean, I think it always was kind of a blending. I feel like that's what stand-up is. I think stand-up as an art form blends the two. You know what I mean? At least the stand-up that I love, you know, the Richard Pryor's, the Dave Chappelle's, the Chris Rock's, Wanda Sykes, and on and on. So for me, the show is just like this growth of stand-up and this other iteration where I can take ideas that in stand-up I kind of got to hit really quick and I can blow them out, you know?
Do you see possibly a season 3?
I mean,
Are you in for it?
I'm in for it eventually. I think I need some space to think, you know what I mean? It's just like stand up. You got to go out and get some life experience to bring it back to something to make it great. And so I wouldn't want to just run into it without the proper time.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just say thanks for the show, because it's not only entertaining, but it's thought-provoking, which I think is exactly what you wanted it to be.
That's really cool to hear, because it is. So thank you.
Yeah, no, congratulations on it. Season 2 of Pause with Sam J drops on HBO tomorrow. Sam J, thank you so much for the show and for being here today.
Thank you. This was cool.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.